Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to everyone, and welcome back to those who attended last week. I'm gonna give 30 seconds, a minute to everybody and the opportunity to jump in. And then we're gonna start because we have a lot to cover. We have 45-minute session plus a 15 minutes Q&A at the end. I want to answer all your questions. And we're going to review also a couple of things. So please grab something for you to write your question down for the Q&A and stay hydrated. So coffee, water, everything. Get your Stanley with you. Take a little sip and we're going to start writing. Okay. So again, like I said, welcome back for those who were with us last week for this session, number 2 of this new series about ISO 42001. Okay, so today, for those who were with us last week, you need to know that today is going to be a bit more technical. So this session for everybody is going to be actually a bit more technical. It's going to be technical for a reason. All the foundation that we're going to build on the next couple of weeks with our webinars are based in this. So this is the foundation. You need to know what ISO 42001 is and what it is not. Okay, so you need to pay attention. I'm trying to make it as simple as I can, but it's going to be a bit different. There are webinars. Okay, so let's jump right in. What you need to know: you don't need to become an auditor for you to be able to follow the ISO 42001. Okay, so 42001, this ISO is the foundation for responsible, trustworthy, and auditable AI governance. Okay, it's divided in 7 cores clause plus the Annex A that reference controls. So 38 controls make up the full standard. Okay? So that's what ISO 42001 is. 7 clauses, core, and 38 controls. So what we're going to see today, it's what is ISO 42001, what it is not, okay, the management system logic behind it, and why did it came to life. Well, that's going to be easy, but the management system logic, it's very, very important. The 7 core clauses, we're going to see what they are. We're going to also talk about the 38 controls that you have on the Annex A. And most importantly, how does it map to a small practice? Okay, not a tech company, because people think that it's only for big tech companies that ISOs are actually made for. No, it's not, right? So buckle up. Let's start with the ISO 42001, what actually is and isn't. So an international standards for how an organization governs AI, not a technical specification for the AI itself. So ISOs, this one was published in December 2023 and is the first certifiable AI management system standard. That's what ISO is. It's an international standard. Okay. It's built on the same high-level structure as the ISO 27001 or the 9001. So 27001 is known for cybersecurity and physical security. The 9001 is for quality. So it's the familiar shape. The subject is now for AI. Okay, it provides a repeatable framework to manage AI risk, responsibility, demonstrate trust, accountability, and compliance. So as you can see here, we have responsibility, risk responsibility, and accountability. We're going to talk about a bit more about that for those who weren't with us last week. For For those who were with us last week, it's going to be just a reminder, but we need to address this. Okay, so the AI management system is based on policies and governance that set up direction and define responsibilities. So basically, whether you have more than one person organization, so 2 up, you need to have one person that is responsible for the AI governance, the policies, not only for AI, but everything. Imagine if you are 3 people, mental health practitioners. So one of you needs to be responsible for HIPAA compliance, for the security, for what you buy, what tools you buy, what everything. Okay, so that person, we call that a DRI, so a direct responsible individual. Okay, I love that name. Just you need to have it. Okay, now remember, I'm telling you why I like that name, the direct responsible individual, because it's not really a title, it's just a function. Okay, so when I was working on the vendors for Apple in Europe, I was based in Lisbon, Portugal at one time, and I was in the training team and IT team at the same time. So I had 2 type of jobs. And Apple sent an auditor from Cupertino in California to Lisbon to audit the security. So every year, Apple will send a document with everything that they want to see implemented inside the organization. It's called CSSR. Okay, so that's a framework. So that site, that vendor fail, you need 80% to pass their audit. They were like 49%, something like that. So they gave that site 2 months to get at least 70%. Okay, so the IT director came to me and said, okay, you need to help me get to that 70%. So I stop completely training people and just dedicate myself nights and things like that to that point of getting to 76%. Actually, we end up having 76%. But the point is, after that, we had this meeting with the director, the site director, and things like that. And the IT director said, okay, I need someone to take that brief and do this for us for next year. And he said, well, I don't know anybody better than Fred to do that because he has experience and I don't. So the site director decided to give it to me and say, okay, so now you're responsible for our audits and security. But they didn't want to change on paper my title, but they needed a title to indicate the auditor who he needs to talk to, and that's why we came with the DRI. Apple recommended it's the direct responsible individual. So I started doing that before becoming the security lead for Apple and others. So very important to have someone that the auditor can talk to, that knows where the binder is and what's inside, all the process and procedural documentation, all the responsibilities of everybody needs to be written in that binder. Process controls, how AI is designed, used, and monitored. So if you're building your own AI or somebody is building an AI for your practice, you're not using a third-party AI, you need to be involved in all of that. The design, mostly, even if it's a third party, you need to control and have a process to how to use it and how to monitor it, to see that it's not hallucinating, doing things that you don't want him to do. Okay, so you have the people and competence, roles, skills, training, and awareness. Roles, you need a DRI, you need somebody that is that knows about it, and that can train others to how to use the AI, how the process that was written, the policy that was written, why you use it like this, and how you use it like this. Okay, they need to know about it. If you don't tell your people how to use it, use the tool, they cannot know. Okay, data and technology. So if you're a SMB, if you're like a small business, medium business, usually everything that's data and technology is gonna be mostly taken care by your MSP or your IT company. Okay, so they're gonna encrypt your data, make your backup, put your cameras, anti-spyware, malware, all those things for your infrastructure. That's their job. Okay, the thing that is not their job, and if you think that if you install an AI and you're not compliant with HIPAA, it's their job to fix. It's not. Their job is to secure your network, your computers, and your facilities. That's it. Okay, everything that it's compliance, everything that is documentation, procedurals, policies, things like that, you need to have someone that write those for you. Okay, usually your DRI, or of course you can use ClasbyFred. So monitoring and evaluation, measure performance and compliance. You need to know that your AI is compliant and that is not hallucinating, saying things that are not true. So you need to verify everything that it gives you, not taking it just, oh, ChatGPT said to do this, this, and this, and that's it. Okay, so you need to be aware of that, and in continuous improvement, learn, adapt, and strength over time. So learning, well, it's the new era. You need to learn how to use AI properly. You need to adapt yourself to use AI. It's the future. Is not going to disappear anytime soon. Actually, we saw that a couple of weeks ago that 98% of companies are going through AI and try to implement AI, but only 13% are actually ready safely to install AI and use it. So you need to strengthen over time. It's going to learn with you, with what you do with it, but you need also to help him be more secure, be more compliant. Okay. So the 7 core clause, easily the backbone of the 42001, and it's a continuous cycle of governance and improvement, and that's very, very, very important. So we start with the context. Understand where AI touch your business and who is affected by it. Okay, so does it touch your client? Does it touch your business core? Does it touch your marketing, things like that? So you need to know what AI is using for what, and what does it do, and how can it affect you in a positive way, but also a negative way. Okay, that's where the leadership comes from. You need to set direction and ensure that AI governance is a priority. So like we saw a couple of weeks ago, and if you need those documents, I can send it those documents. Just email me, say, hey, I want the AI assessment to see who's using AI, which AI, and why. Okay, and that's very important. You need to know in your organization right now, everybody's using AI. Why are they using it? Who's using it for what? Okay, and write policies and tell them it's a priority for us to be safe and compliant. For you to tell me which AI are you using and why you're using it. Can we make it safer and better? Planning, assess the AI risk and opportunities before you rely on the tool. So that's why we talked a couple of weeks ago to use that that policy that we create together to assess the risk of that AI, but also having a process to vet this new tool. Okay, if someone from the front desk come to you and say, I want to use the AI to do the booking easier, things like that. So you need to ask them, okay, so which AI do you want to use? Uh, do we have a business agreement with that AI signed? How much it's going to cost? Things like that. But mostly, is it safe, and is it approved by the owner? Is it approved by management? Okay, it needs to be having an approval process. Support, provide resources, training, and documentation for your people to succeed. So if that AI is approved, you need to write a policy and a procedural document saying, okay, we're using that AI as a policy. You can do this, this, and that, and you need to use it like this, this, and this. Not putting that, not putting that. So everything needs to be clear, and you need to train your people on those process. So they aware about it, they know that's how they should use it, and there is no conflict. Okay, it's very clear for everybody. Operations, run AI governance process consistently day to day. So check if the AI is going to learn with what you do with it. But AI also, because it's intelligent, is going to take what it thinks is going to be easier or more practical or more efficient. Let's say like that, more efficient. And it starts to not hallucinate, but trying to be a bit more biased. Okay, so you need to be careful of that. And that's why you have the evaluation, monitor, and measure performance to ensure it's working like you intended to work. Okay, if it start if you're an HR company, we saw last week the HR company, and you try to recruit someone and the AI start excluding certain type of people just because he thinks with the history of things happening in your organization, with the history of your organization, you start saying, okay, maybe we don't want that type of people. That's being biased. You can be sued about for it. So be careful of that. Monitor and measure your AI. And improvement, learn, adapt, and strengthen your system over time. We talked about this in the previous slide. You need to strengthen each time you see that it might be something that can leak, or something that it's biased, or something that is not doing what it should be regarding security or data. You need to strengthen that AI. Okay, those are the 7 core clauses. Now, let's talk about the 38 controls. So 48 controls inside those 7 clauses is the Annex A, and it's a reference that you can tailor to your organization, risk profile, and regulatory obligation. It's not a checklist, it's a menu. You choose what fits. You help you choose what matters. Okay, it's one standard, many organization, different needs. If you're 2 people chiropractor practice or a 50 lawyer firm, you don't have the same needs. You don't have to have all the 38 controls, neither of you, but you're going to have more controls for one and less controls for others. Okay, so let's start with usually I start with the governance, but I'm going to leave that for last. Let's start with security. So protect your system and data through secure design, access control, and incident preparedness. What's that mean? So people is going to think, okay, that's ISO 27001, which is cyber and physical security. Yes, it is true, but it's a little part that who's going to access the AI? What access do they physically have to that AI, and what cyber access do they have to that AI? But most importantly, having an incident preparedness is having something, a log, how you're going to react when something happens. Okay, by law, you have 60 days to tell that you were hacked. You have 60 days to tell the government that you were hacked, and what are you doing to solve the problem, what your MSP or IT company is doing to clean your servers or to solve that issue. Okay, after that you start paying fines. So be aware of that. But the log of the incident is very important, because they need to know also when you were hacked, and why, how you were hacked. Was it a cyber attack? Was it somebody that left the door open and somebody left their computers on and not in screensaver with password, things like that? So they need to know, and you having that document to prepare yourself for that, because like 15-20 years ago, we used to say there's two type of companies: the ones that have been hacked and the one that soon being hacked. Now there's two type of company: the one that been hacked and knows about it, and the one that don't. Okay, but you're gonna find out about it, and you need to prepare for that. Life cycles for planning, development to operation, monitoring, and retirement. So like any other software, AI is a software. So you need to plan. If you're developing something with someone, or even buying AI from someone like Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever, you need to monitor that, and you need to think about his retirement, because AI. So I think ChatGPT have like 5.6 now version. Claude has like Fable and other versions. So everybody has many versions of that. So they start retiring those older versions and present new ones that are new capabilities and things like that. So if it's a specific AI, like, I don't know, Scribe or something, you need to know that something better is going to come up. And you need to know how to retire that AI, but having your data safe, and make it safe retirement. Okay, data quality, privacy. Again, your MSP does a lot of those, but we're talking about standards, we're talking about procedurals and policies. You need to write those down. You need to have specific policies for your data and privacy law. And governance. So leadership, accountability, and policies that set direction and ensure responsible AI use. And that's the fundamental of ISO 42001. It's the fundamental of using AI in the business. You need to have someone accountable for it, so your DI. You need to have set up policies and ensure responsible AI use. You need to train your people to use that AI properly, okay? And that's very, very important for your security, your cyber security, your data, your compliance. It's for everything, okay? So where it overlaps for, let's say, HIPAA. So let's talk about for healthcare practitioner. So HIPAA risk analysis covers PHI broadly, and ISO 42001 is specific to how AI tools are governed. Okay, the overlap is real. Both demand document risk assessment and name accountability. Again, we're talking about the same thing. You need to have someone that knows all of it, that knows the process, the policies, but most importantly, like we saw last week, now auditors, they don't come and say, okay, are you compliant? Show me the compliance policy for if someone is leaving the company. What is your process? They don't start with that. They don't start to, are you putting your patient's privacy in front, your data security? All of that's going to be covered. But their first question is, do you have where is your last risk assessment? So if you have a risk assessment done, they can take that and say, okay, so you found risk here, you're vulnerable here and there. What are you doing to solve all of this? And then they're gonna try to find more, but it's easier for them to know that you're good on all those points, and you only have those little points to go through. So it saves them time, saves you money. Having a risk assessment is fundamental. You need to have a risk assessment done every year at least, okay? And having someone that knows that it was done and what you're doing to solve all those problems, okay? AI introduced risk, genetic HIPAA assessment, one catch, model behavior, vendor data use, staff misuse of consumer tools. That the HIPAA risk assessment is not going to catch that. Okay, that's why you have the ISO 42001. This structure, this standard is going to help you with the AI system inventory that we talked about, the model behavior, if it's biased or not, if it's like hallucinating, vendor and third-party AI risk, AI data use and retention, all of those. So the overlap is documented risk assessment. That's number one. That's what they want to see first. Name accountability, that's second. That's the person that is your DRI. Policies and controls and procedural and ongoing monitoring and improvement. This is where, when you have an audit from OCR, HHS, whatever, when they come and they want to see, that's what they want to see first, and where the ISO 42001 can help you get there easier. Okay. What about opinion 512? Okay, so this is for law firms. So the ABA create what they call the formal opinion 512. The duties of the lawyers is about competence, confidentiality, and supervision. And ISO 42001, it's the AI management system that is going to help you get to that competence, confidentiality, and supervision. Okay, so ABA formal opinion 512 requires competence, confidentiality, and supervision around AI use. The ISO 42001 clauses on planning and support map directly onto that obligation. And why is it mapped directly to that obligation? Is simply that it creates a path, a trail, a documentation trail that is going to show you how you get to that AI, how did you choose that AI, what do you do with it, and it's going to go in backwards. Okay, so they know you're using AI, they know about it, everybody knows that you're using AI. They want to know if you're using with all those duties, but they want to know how you come to that conclusion of using that AI and how you use it. So they want to see that trail, that documentation trail. How did you research? How did you approve that AI or multiple AI? If you use multiple AI, if those AI are secure, confidential, there's no data leaks, things like that. Okay, because it can be very, very, very bad for your reputation that you spend a long time to build as a lawyer. So ethics is how ISO 42001 can help you with confidentiality and competence. Now, what about CPAs, wealth managers, things like that? It's where overlaps with FINRA and SEC. So the 42001 overlaps also with those organization when it comes to audit. Okay, supervisory requirement, FINRA rules 3110 and SEC rules demand documented supervision of AI. Like we talked about, you cannot ask a question of AI and assume that it's right. It can hallucinate, it can tell you something that is not true. That happens when the AI doesn't have the knowledge in his database. Okay, so models that have less hallucination, like ChatGPT or Claude AI, it's because their database is huge and they have like more and more people coming in and putting more intelligence into it. Okay, but when they don't know the answer in their own database, what they do is they go onto the internet and search for the answer because it wants to please you. The thing is, on the internet, yeah, fake things, fake news, fake documents, fake everything. Okay, so you cannot say that your AI is absolutely right. Everything that it says is true. Zero trust, that doesn't exist. You need to verify that. Okay, record keeping. Maintain records of AI use reviews, approvals, and outcomes. Like we saw, ISO 42001, one of the things that you need to do is to have an approval system and the why and review it all the time. Okay. Operations and evaluation. The ISO 42001 ensure AI systems are monitored, measured, and continually assessed. You need to keep checking your AI for their security, for their compliance, what they say, all of that. And mostly check if it's actually saving you time, if it's actually saving you money, if it's actually doing its job. Okay. You're having an AI that answers the phone for you, things like that. And they start saying that, well, if you come to the office for your teeth cleaning, we'll give you some fries and coffee. You don't do that. So, but he's hallucinating. He's like saying, okay, if we do that, more people is gonna come. Okay, so check your AI. Defensible evidence, and that's where ISO 42001, it's so great to use. It's the documentation trail. Like we saw for the lawyers, is the same for FINRA or SEC. They want to see the trail and stand up the regulatory of your business. Okay, so clause operations evaluation gives that documentation a defensible, standardized structure. It's a standard, it's a structure. They know about it, they know that structure. So when you come and say, okay, I follow ISO 42001, we have our risk assessment and all of our documentation, all about process and policies are based on ISO 42001. They know you're doing everything that you can to be like secure and compliant. Okay, this creates a clear audit trail for regulators, client, and internal oversight. The result is a stronger compliance posture, lower enforcement risk, and greater trust. That's huge for you if you work in finance, law, healthcare, anything that can give you more trust is welcome. Okay, so that's one of the things. Case snapshots, what certification is and isn't used for. So focus on the discipline, earn the trust. Certification is optional, security is not. That's very, very, very important. What's important is you following those 7 cores and 38 controls is for you to earn the trust and be secure. Being certified, you don't have to be certified. You have to be certified if you create your own AIs. If that's your job, you want to create AIs and you want your clients to know that the AI that you're creating is safe and secure, has the right guardrails and things like that. That's great. If you are not doing that, you don't need a certification. You need a certification if you want maybe your type of work and you want to have a contract with the defense or the DOJ or something like that, something with the government, and you need them to trust you with what you're doing. So yes, you would benefit a lot to have that certification. Okay, but the certification takes time. It takes a lot of work and a lot of money also for you to become certified. So it's required for an organization that works towards that standard, but you don't need it. You don't need to be certified to be safe and compliant. Okay, you just need to follow it. Then if you want a real certification, by all means, we can help you with that. We have a specific package for you to be able to achieve your AI certification ISO 42001 and having that third-party verification. Okay, so you pass that exam, that audit, and then you get your certification. It can also be for a specific person like myself. I'm certified ISO 42001 as a lead auditor and implementation. So that's why I can help you get to that certification. But I just want you to be safe, okay? You don't need to be certified to be safe and compliant. You just need to be safe from hackers and compliant for auditors, so you don't spend money of each of those, because both of them can cost you a lot of money. All right. So common pitfall to avoid: assuming that it's only for companies that build AI models. We saw that in the beginning. It's not. AI ISO 42001. It's for everybody that use AI in their work environment. Okay, everybody, not only AI builders. Treating Annex A as a mandatory checklist rather than a menu. Lots of people I see, mostly IT companies, MSPs, doing that. They want to go to the extra mile and help their customers after they put all the security measures. They say, oh, you're going to use AI, so let's go through that checklist of the Annex A and all the 38 controls, and it's going to take time to have all the 38 controls, and you don't need it. You don't need it because the auditors, regarding the type of business that you're doing, they don't want all of them. They just want the ones that regarding your business, okay? And for hackers, well, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get hacked anyway. It's not because you have more controls that you're gonna be safer, okay? So waiting for the certification decision before doing any of the work. So value the discipline, and this is very important. Again, you don't need to be certified, or you don't need to wait to have your date of having that exam and audit to start doing the work. Okay, you can apply for it, but start doing the work yesterday. Start doing the work today. First thing, it's today. Today, you need to start being compliant and secure with your AI tools. So 5 action you can take this week and starting today is the inventory for AI use. Like I said, if you don't have that spreadsheet that I created, it's on our Facebook group. I can send it to you. No problem at all. Just send me a text or an email. I'll send it to you. It's free. You need an inventory of your AI use. Who's using AI? Why they're using AI? What are they using? What type of AI? What are the risks? Identify the risk. The 3 biggest risks: to patient, to clients, and to your business. Okay? To your business, it means that if I'm using that AI, if something happens, if there's a leak of data, what can be affected on my part? What fine I'm gonna pay? Oh, it's a HIPAA violation. HIPAA violations are from $10,000 to $50,000 for each violation. So hey, how many violations that AI might risk to me for HIPAA compliance, for instance? Okay. So assign accountability. So choose, think about it, be careful, think about it. If you're the owner and you're solo on your business, well, guess what? It's you. Okay, you're the owner, the DRI, the trash man, the everything. If you have more people and you don't want to have that hat, think carefully, because this person is responsible for your risk management. So it's not only for AI. We're talking today about AI, but you should have a security officer for everything. So your physical, your cybersecurity, all of it. And you need to have that DRI person or a CISO inside. not inside, but you need to have one. Document your approach. So create or update a short AI policy and risk assessment log. We created one a couple weeks ago. It's also on our Facebook group. Go there, take it, download it, use it, write your own policies as soon as possible. Risk assessment log. What are the risks? What happened? If something happened, why did it happen? What did you do to solve that? And schedule a review. Block 30 minutes next week to review the progress. So if you send an email to everybody and say, okay, I need to know what everybody is using as AI, some people are going to tell you the truth, some people won't. So you need to review their answers. You need to review that progress of identify the risk. You need to review that for you, okay? That's very, very important. So progress today, protection tomorrow, and be confident always. AI governance is a practice, not a project. That's why you need your DRI. If you don't have the time to do it, please choose someone that can do it for you. And that brings us to, so that was your DIY. That brings us to our, how can I help? How ClasbyFred has practical solution for you. So you have 4 type of packages. So those are packages that I create in intent to help you the best I can with any type of business. Okay, so you have the risk snapshot is a one-time thing. Think about it like this. I come, I assess, it's 30-minute on-site visit with secure baseline check. It means that I check if you use multi-factor authentication to log into your email or things like that, or your AI. And I'll give you like 3 to 5 biggest risk. I'll tell you, okay, you're vulnerable here, 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 and here for auditors, and here, here, and here for hackers. Okay, then it's on to you to, well, make it work and solve all those issues. Okay, clarity. So clarity is for starting companies or companies up to 10 employees, but someone that needs a plan. Someone that needs a plan. So it's a more comprehensive audit, around 2 hours on site, plus everything that all the documents that you're gonna send me that I'm gonna ask for. We can check your ISO, your HIPAA gap. I'll check your Microsoft 365 Apple security baseline, and you'll have a finding report that's gonna tell you what I can solve for you. So if you need procedurals and policies, what me as ClasbyFred can help you with, and what your MSP or IT company needs to do to help you clear those things. So you have a clear roadmap with finding reports. And if it's HIPAA compliance, if you need help with your HIPAA compliance, I'll write down everything that you need for 6 of those 12 core points. Okay. Resilient. So resilient, it's not a one-time thing. So both of the previous one is a one-time thing. I did one time, and then you decide what to do. Resilient is our first package to a year of partnership, where I can do the full HIPAA assessment, the full ISO 42001 assessment, and we write also custom policies documentation for 8 core policies for HIPAA. Semi-annual on-site checking. So I go to your business twice a year to check everything, risk registration, roadmaps. Again, you're gonna have that roadmap that tells you exactly what is high risk, medium risk, low risk, and what path we're going to take together to solve all of that, so you are compliant, you are secure. Okay. So that's $6.99 a month. It's a 12-month minimum contract, and at the end we can renew it for another year. But you'll be completely secure. You'll have me on your team, and review every 6 months. So like HHS and HIPAA, they release new things every 6 months, but you're only required to have one training a year. So I compensate that training. I'll train your people with what's new every 6 months. We'll review that. Okay. Sovereign, so that's the full vCISO, so virtual CISO partnership. It's for bigger companies and mostly for people that need to have a fractional CISO with them as a like part-time employee. So you have 8 to 12 hours a month are working for you, quarterly on-site visit check-ins, and I'll review your policies every year. Every year, we're going to sit down for like a couple hours and review all your policies, all the 12 policies, core policies that are fundamental for your business, all the regulatory and alerts also. So you have me on the phone, you have me on Zoom calls every month, and every year we rewrite everything with the new standards, the new things that are related to your business. So everything when I talk about policies and procedural documentation, things like that I do, is specific to your business, to the size of your business, to what you do, and with the regulation that are in your field, okay, for your type of auditing, your type of protections, okay? So you need to think about that. We have other packages if you want to get your ISO 42001 certification, or if you want me as your virtual CISO as so more than 12 hours a month, if you want me like having me there every month for more than that, 20 hours, 30 hours. We also have that package. It depends of what do you need. If you don't need any of this, but so it's a la carte. You can choose what you want me to do. Okay, risk assessments and write policies for HIPAA and write policies for AI, things like that. So it's a la carte thing. So many things. I suggest you, if you don't know where to land, just go to our website, check it out. You have a free 10-minute risk snapshot. It's gonna tell you in 10 minutes where you might be vulnerable or not, and then book a call with me. We'll review it together, and I'll advise you of what's next for you. Okay. For now, that's it. We're gonna go to your questions, and before while you're starting typing your questions, I put on the screen a couple of questions that people always ask me. So the most common questions: is ISO 42001 only for companies that build AI? No, we saw that earlier. It's for everybody that use it and implement them in their operations, okay? Do we need certification right away? No, you don't even need the certification. You only need certification to prove that you're safe for another organization or for your client for a specific reason, okay? You just need to follow the ISO 42001 so you know that you are secure and compliant. How long does it take to implement? Well, every organization is different. Many practices make meaningful progress in 60 to 90 days. I try to, because I work mostly with SMBs, I try to cut down a bit of that, but that's the real target that you need to know, is that it's going to take 60 to 90 days to be compliant or to have like meaningful progress in your governance. Okay, so if you know that you're going to have an audit in a couple of months, it's okay, don't worry, because the point of using ISO 42001 is to prove the auditor that you're doing something. If you're not doing anything, that's where you have a problem. Okay, so sooner you start, better for you. Okay, and mostly for hackers, they're not going to, oh wait, let them get their ISO 48001 up so we can test it and try to hack it. They're not going to do that. They're going to hack you when they want. Okay, where do we start? Well, you start by assessing the risk of the AI used right now, because like we saw, your people, your staff is already using AI. The question is, do you know about it? Do you know which one? Do you know any risk that is connected to that AI use? Okay. What is the biggest risk right now? Uncontrolled AI use. The people using AI that you don't know about. Data privacy leak, bias, unsafe outputs, lack of policies and oversight. If you're using AI and you have an auditor is going to come and say, okay, so using that AI, where is your policy for that? And you don't have one, boom, you're going to pay a fine. So please use ISO 42001. And what's the investment? It depends on your need and scope. Okay, we'll recommend the right options for your organization. So give me a call. Like I said, go to our website, check everything. Our website is actually absolutely amazing. Do the free snapshot so you know at least in which categories you can be vulnerable or not for auditors or for hackers. And give me a call. We'll talk about it. It's free. Okay. I'll help you go through the right options for your type of organization. I don't need to sell you a 200 pages HIPAA binder compliance if you're a solo chiropractor practitioner. Okay, so I'll help you as much as I can to get to the right options, but I just want you to be safe. I want your business to be safe. I want your clients also to be safe. That's the the main goal of ClasbyFred, is that everybody is using AI, but in a safe way and mostly being compliant. Okay, like we say, govern today and protect tomorrow. So AI governance is very, very important. Before I answer your questions, I also want you to have my contacts information. So you have my LinkedIn, you have my phone number, my email, or our website. You can book a strategy call with that QR code. And you can also join our Facebook group, where you have not only some news about AI, but most importantly, some tools that I put there so you can download that risk AI tool file, or the policies, how to write the risk assessment policy, things like that, that you can go there, download, and use. It's free. And you can talk to other people that were hacked or that are doing the ISO 42001 for their own protection. You have great people, great conversation from any type of fields. I know it says healthcare practices, but if you're a lawyer, if you're a CPA or broker or whatever, you can come to that group and share your insights, share your questions, be responsible using AI. Okay. And you also have on that third column, you have the next week webinar. So our webinar number 3 of this series of 6, which is about AI risk assessment 101. So how to do AI risk assessment. So I'll teach you that next week. It's on Friday, again at 4 p.m. live on LinkedIn, on Zoho, and other platforms. All right. So now let's take your questions. And for those who are living right now, thank you for watching. I hope you have a blessed weekend and a wonderful week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.